Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am so blessed, so stoked, so honored to be here with my friend Barb Hale over at dluxSuites, managing partner, owner. Can we say owner, co-owner?
Sure,
It's the
co-owner's
Bomb
better.
Diggity. Does Bomb
Bomb diggity.
Diggity fit on a business card? I don't even know. Barb, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Ben. What a pleasure. What an honor to be on the same screen as you. I
I feel
aspire to
like I miss you. I feel like we always bump into each other at DRC events and,
Mhm.
at Great Lakes and like just bumping around town and everything, even at ERC. And I haven't seen you for a while and miss you, Barb.
I know you left me here in Michigan in the beautiful weather.
Had to do it. Had to do
I
it.
know. Good for you.
Sorry, I'm not even sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, if you're watching right now, get in the comments. Want to hear from you. Let us know who you are, where you are, what you're doing right now. Give some shout outs to Barb. If you got questions for Barb, I know I do. Leave them in the comments. Let's get after it. Erica Burton, one of my
Hi.
faves. Hey, Barb.
Mhm. Erica, I want to be Erica when I grow up.
Seriously, is Erica not living her best life?
Oh my God. Every week, every other week, she's in a beautiful destination.
I feel like they made a biopic about Erica called How Stella Got Her Groove Back, and
Yes.
Angela Bassett plays Erica Burton. Is that what
Yep.
happened? Oh my gosh. Erica, shout out to you. Tim Quirk, welcome Barb, and hello Ben from Western New York. What up,
Hi, Tim.
Timmy? ESSA
Uh,
Consultancy.
you were
Who
just on
who
that video with me 2 weeks ago, right? With
who
Richard?
who is ESSA Consultancy? Who's the person? Is there a person behind this?
Yeah, Richard. We were
Oh,
on it
Richard.
together. Yeah.
Richard, come out,
Saba.
man. Just be you, dude. Stacy Huff, hi Ben and Barb. It's going to be a great show. Stacy, setting the bar real high. Stacy, real high.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy's the best. Shout out to super producer Stacy Huff, by the way, the newest
Yeah,
vice president at TRC Global. Big
nice.
stuff. Big stuff. See Alan King, hi Ben and Barbara. Looking forward to the show. Tuning in from Germany. It's the
Love that.
Germans. Jack
Oh, I
Jampel, hey
Jack,
Barb and Ben. Isn't Jack awesome?
favorite.
Jack,
Yeah, I love him.
I want your questions for Barb. I want corporate housing questions. Jack's always got a controversial viewpoint on things. I want to hear it. Love
Oh
some
God, you just
Jack
made my
questions.
hands sweat.
Is that is that what? This is funny. Hit that like button over here. Oh goodness, Joanna Remmel. Hi Ben and Barbara. ESSA Consultancy. Hey Ben, she doesn't turn up at my event. How do you do it? We got technical issues this afternoon. Oh geez. One of the best is it. This is Richard, right? Saba Wine Time
Yes.
guy. Yeah,
Yep.
awesome. If you're in corporate housing, check it out. Saba Wine Time, awesome. One of the best
It
networking
is awesome.
things. Here's another one of our happy hour people.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda Thoney Johnson, Barb, great to see you. Maureen Longoria, hey guys. Gina Dams,
Aw.
greatest mentor. Tell me about mentorship, Barb, real quick. Let's start off here, Gina. Thank you so much for the entree there. Talk about mentorship, Barb.
So I love mentorship. I love leadership. And I'm obsessed right now with Juwan Howard from the University of Michigan. I don't know if you watch Michigan basketball, but I am
Fab Five,
obsessed.
Fab Five, baby.
Fab, that's
Juwan
it.
Howard.
That's the same guy. So if you watch him, I think there's magic in getting a team to work together. I think there's magic in getting a team to trust each other. So if I throw you the ball and you don't even think the ball is coming, our energy together catches the ball and you shoot and score. And I love that. And I study him and I read about him. And he's done wonders. But how many people do we know, Ben, that can do that? That take over a company and make it hum, or that take over a team and win? I think it's difficult. I don't think it's easy. But to build that trust, which I think is number one, is super important. I mean,
So
like,
I'm with you
let
on
me
this,
ask you.
Barb.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you though. You can ask me, but let me ask you first. Me first. Um, how do you get that? Because that's something I struggle with in my career. I feel like one of the things that I've never been really super great at is being a team leader. I just don't. I feel like it's a deficiency. I worry about it honestly. I'm very like self-critical and like I worry about it. I was just talking to my wife about like an hour ago, honestly.
Honestly. So I'm a psychology sociology major, so I kind of naturally go there. And there's always an overall overarching goal, right? Like for our companies, you could say, I want Glomo to make $10 million this year, right? And you have a team
I've said
behind
that.
you.
I've said that. Yes.
Wonderful. Good goal. But that team, what is that team's contribution to 10 million, right? Like what is each person's greatest strength? And then how do you apply that energy towards $10 million, right? So human beings are strange people, and everyone has something that's important to them. And I think that every person needs someone to believe in them, which is your job as the leader, right? I believe in you. This is your contribution. This is what we're going to need to do. And you set the box, right? You set the court, you set the free throw line, you set it that this is where we're going. And this is your contribution to get us where we're going. Do you agree? Because they have to agree to be part of the team. So I just love it. I think that people have gifts. I think it's one of mine, but I also study it constantly. What makes
Give me,
people tick?
give me a hint on that though. What are you studying though? Because I'm a big fan. I mean, what you said makes sense. I always say like whenever you start a jigsaw puzzle, you take the box, right? And you see, okay, what's it supposed to look like at the end, right? And the leader's job is to like kind of hold the box up and say, okay, this is what it's going to look like. You all figure out how to put the pieces together and get there. But I'm going to hold the box over here. But I don't know. I feel like I'm still missing something. So like, what are you studying? And people actually ask me this all the time because they assume that I'm a good leader. And I don't know. I think you're conflating two different things. But what do you study to get you there?
I study good leaders, right? I study, again, let's go back to my best friend, Juan. How did he come to this program, right? And take this team and find magic with it. And I think it's very individualized because I think the stronger each person is, the stronger your team is. And then at some point it shifts that the team is the family. And if the team wins, the family wins, which I have always tried to aspire our teams to, right? So as a leader, I don't know anything really. I mean, like you holding the puzzle box, I don't know what it's like to respond to leads all day long. I don't know what it's like to be I do now in operations cleaning toilets. That's not really, that's never been my role until I own my own business. But you tell me what's going to work. What is your commitment to this goal as an associate? And then everyone needs a good leader. Everyone needs someone to bounce ideas off of. So any idea in any company, any good idea did not come from me.
I feel like we should put that on the wall at dluxSuites. There, any good idea did not come from me, Barb Hale.
No.
No, but I think that's awesome. I think that's super self-aware, and I think people can vibe with that. I want to hear from people in the crowd here about leadership. I want to hear what works for you. What are some of the biggest aha moments for you? What are some of the things that you study? This is definitely a crowdsourceable topic. Pam Capici, yeah, Barb Hale, keep showing everyone how to get it done. What's up, Pam? Shelly Bishop, hi, Barb and Ben. What's up, Shelly? Henri, hello, everyone. We rounded up our rabbits after all. Ben, you will fill in all the details. All good for now. Henri's chasing rabbits all over France. Nothing to see here. We were on Clubhouse earlier. Jill Parteka, hello, favorite peeps. What's up, Jill? Miss you, Jill. Cindy Salter, Cindy in the house. What up, Cindy? Love to hear your thoughts on leadership, too. Sorry, Barb, you were saying.
No. Oh, would you talk about the importance?
Well, yeah, Jack. So Jack's got a question here. So okay, so Jack's gonna take us in this direction. I think it's a good direction actually. Jack says, Barb, would you talk about the importance of directed preferred relationships in the corporate housing space? What are the advantages? Yeah, what a softball, right? Right down the middle for you, Barb.
Well, I know. Do we wait till the top five? Do we wait till the top five? Because I
No,
love this question.
no, just Venmo Jack
Going
and answer the
Okay.
question. Take the gifts.
All right. So we're kind of going a little bit out of order, but I'm good with it. This is what I think for 2021. And I was just on our Corporate Housing Providers Association. We had a small business session with all small businesses. And I do believe that in 2021, very shortly, I mean, some people believe April, right? The dam is going to break, borders are going to open, relocations are going to come in, probably at a fast trickle, then a stream, and then hopefully a tsunami, right? Hopefully that happens that way. But what's going to happen is this. There's very little inventory out there. The inventory that is out there has high rates. And for the first time in a very, very long time, corporate housing providers are going to say no, right? So again, Jack comes to me and says, hey, I have this VIP. He's going to check out on April 30th, right? He's buying a house. This is what's going to happen. Okay, we're going to be so busy because I'm so optimistic that there's going to be so many relocations coming down the pike that if he's moving out April 30th, I am going to have that clean turn and another person in there, call it by May 3rd, right? Jack's going to come to me and say, oh gosh, they can't find a house. I need another 30 days. And I'm going to have to say, no, Jack. I mean, because now what am I going to do? I've just backfilled your apartment. So I think, and I think Jack agrees with me, that the reason that I keep talking and going on these panels is to get the corporate and the relocation customer to understand that because 2020 was such a bad year doesn't mean 2021 is going to mean good rates, lots of availability, and easy peasy, because it's not going to mean that. So to have this relationship is everything. And we've said, Ben, for how long? Partnership. We have to increase the trust of that partnership because this summer is going to be interesting.
No, I love it, right? Because you were talking about cleaning toilets, right? You're like, oh, I'm not involved in operations. Well, I haven't been cleaning toilets lately, right? And I guess when you're the boss, you have to do every job, right? To make sure things get done. But when Jack calls you up and say, hey, I got a VIP in Kalamazoo, right? And you're my go-to because that's your backyard. I need you to help me out. And you're sitting there like, don't want to go clean this, like rent this unit, rent furniture, clean this toilet, or do I just want to sit here because I'm already at 110% of, my occupancy right now? Do I want to really go like do everything, move heaven and earth to get this VIP in or not, And I mean, because at some point, that's what, I mean, we're trading on the relationships and the fact that, because it's different. If Jack's RMC calls you and says, I need something in Kalamazoo, can you help me? Versus if Jack calls you and says, hey, Barb, I need something in Kalamazoo, like hook me up. Like, I mean, that's a different phone call, right?
Well, Ben, I'm going to Kalamazoo if either one calls me. My problem is this. My problem is...
Forget all the say no. Forget all... Corporate housing is going to say no for the first time in a long time. No, I'm going to Kalamazoo. I'm cleaning the toilet. Thank you very much.
No, but the problem is when Jack says, here's my biggest fear right now. The relocation company Jack uses calls me and says, that person needs to stay in there another 30 days. And I say, oh my goodness, I've got it booked. Then all of a sudden, dluxSuites is not a partner anymore, right? And dluxSuites is not doing everything they can to help their customer. And now we stink. That's what I'm afraid of. So to Jack's point, having that relationship. So if Jack could call me and be like, are you out of your freaking mind? You need to go to Kalamazoo. I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to Kalamazoo, but your guy can't stay because I've got 3 other people trying to get in. It's the education process, right?
100%. And a lot is lost in translation when the RMC calls you and then all that context. It's not, no, screw you. It's, no, I've got this guy. He's also a VIP in there and I can't kick him out, and he's getting mail, for God's sakes. I can't just like pull him out of there, and then,
right.
For sure.
This
is so interesting. I love the get your hands dirty, like boots on the ground, like I'm cleaning toilets, Jack. What do you want? I'm like doing the best I can over here. I love it.
Oh, well, listen, my business partner, Chris, right? Like
Chris is the best.
We want to be in the field. Yeah, we want to be in the field. We want to be walking these apartments. We want to be sure that we're putting in things that are special. We have a sports player coming in a week, and I'm said to Valerie, okay, we're going to go get books on Detroit. We're going to go get books on the sport at hand. We're going to do this because people love feeling special, right?
I do. Yeah. I tell you what, I felt real special when Chris came by the office and dropped off. Actually, hold on. Where is it? I got it right here. This decanter right here. This
Oh,
one,
I
not
see
this
it.
one. This was a best man gift. But this one right here was the one that Chris came by and dropped off at my office about a year ago, probably.
Right.
And super, super thoughtful, super nice gift. Lasted a lot longer than the liquor he brought with it. I'll tell you what.
I was like, I don't think we got you enough liquor. Something happened to it.
He got me 2 bottles of liquor, and I was like, nah, bang, all right. No, this is TMI. Let's see, Maureen Longoria, Jack Jampel, OGs, you like to stir it up. Steer it up. Tina Peterson, live. If the team wins, everyone wins. Great perspective. How do you, what's the mindset shift that has to happen? Because a lot of organizations suffer from having individual players playing a zero-sum game where I'm trying to shine, and the more Barb shines, wait, where are you? The more Barb shines, the less I shine, right? I'm trying to be the guy in the meeting with all the ideas. I'm trying to be the one with to get placed on the new fancy project. I'm trying to be the rainmaker, you know? How do we get to, if the team wins, everyone wins? And I want you to be specific here. Give me some tips.
So pretend you and I are on the same team, and we are, but just we work together every single day. You have qualities I do not have, and I will never have them. And even if I try to be like you, I'm not going to be good at it because it's not my passion. It doesn't come out from me, right? So as a leader, I'd bring it right out in the meetings. We all know that Ben is good at X, Y, and Z, right? So we've got to use Ben's best strength to help the organization or to help our company or to help the customers or whatever that is, right? And so Sammy, we know you're introverted and you're really good at this and this and this and this, and you don't want to be in the face of the customer. That's your strength. You're a point guard. Ben, you're a power forward. Like, not everybody is good at everything. And I would be worried about the person who wants all the limelight. And listen, growing up in sales, there's always that salesperson that's the Mustang that thinks they are the best at everything. And they get to be a little dangerous. And I love dangerous. I love taking risks, but at what cost, right? So I do drill into that human behavior, and I study people, which freaks them out because my face goes very serious. And I analyze, like, are you really good at that? Like, is that where you really perform? Because your employees will work really, really hard for that goal. If someone believes in them, someone trusts in them, and the whole thing comes together, right?
All right, so let's take this forward. Let's take this forward just a moment, right? We're on the same team. Maybe there's 3 people on the team. Maybe it's you, Barb. Maybe it's me, and maybe it's Chris Krishunas, right? So what's Chris's strengths here?
Oh, cleaning the toilets. No, Chris
is really cleaning Kalamazoo.
Let's talk about Chris for a second. Chris has a saying, and I mean this so respectfully, that he gets smarter when he drinks, but he does. So honestly, I save like the really deep conversations, and I wait till like 2 glasses of Chardonnay, and I say, okay, what do you think of this? If I ask him during the day, it takes so much time for him to process because Chris is a process guy, right? Like Chris will slow my roll. Chris has to process it. And sometimes I get so frustrated because I'm ready to go. I need you got to go, Chris, say yes, we got to go. And his brain doesn't work that way. So now I try to either give him Chardonnay and asking the question, or I have to like plant a seed, kind of like asking my dad, plant a seed, put a little water on it, give it some sunshine. And then Chris comes up with a really great creative answer.
I just see you and Chris in a strategy session, and Chris is hooked up to a Chardonnay drip, while you guys are sketching out the ideas for 2021. Oh gosh, I love it.
Yeah,
He's so great. Love Chris. He's
he's a
great.
good guy.
This is great. Henri says, interesting reflection. I was sharing similar concerns with European peers about container shortages hindering mobility altogether. He's talking about the supply and the demand. Yeah, that's a good one, Henri. We should talk about that in a future episode. Barbara, that's totally fair. Good response. Maureen saying communication. Pardon me, but I hate this word because I feel like it's so broad. And Maureen, I'm not picking on you, but we always say communication to the point where it almost becomes cliche, and I feel like it loses its meaning. What does that mean? Does it mean responsiveness? Does it mean thoroughness? Does it mean details? Does it mean I want you to pick up the call and not send me the voicemail? Does it mean I want you to call me and not send me an email? Does it mean tell me the whole truth even when you're wrong and whatever? Does it mean that I need to trust you, not to beat me over the head and blame and shame me if we screw up? Like, what does communication mean?
Well, I think that, again, I'm going to go back to knowing your audience. If you leave me a voicemail, it's going to sit there a really long time. I hate voicemail. I hate it. And my husband used to say to me, oh, there's a message for you. Remember, like the answering machines? I'm like, why didn't you just listen to it and tell me what's on the answering machine? Like, why do I have to go press the button and spend, 15 seconds listening to someone's voicemail?
Yeah.
I hate it. So
Same.
anyone who knows me knows I'll do two things: never listen to your voicemail, and when I'm done with a conversation, I hang up. I don't say goodbye. I mean, someone's mid-sentence and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So communication for each person is different, right? I do think you have to communicate the goals at hand. I do think you have to know the players on the team to figure out who's good at what. And then I do think you need communication to say, okay, this is where we are with our goal. This is, okay, we're at $8 million team. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to get to $10 million. How are we going to do that? So communication is absolutely the root of all evil, the lack of, right? But I think you also have to communicate precisely to the person who's listening.
Yeah, and Maureen clarifies, and thank you, Maureen, so much. And again, I wasn't picking on you, but she says, my point is when there's a middleman, it makes it harder to streamline that communication to make it effective.
Correct.
Interesting. And Jack goes on to, oh, this is so much fun. I love it. We're stirring the pot. We're stirring it up, Barb. Jack says, sorry, I know you're walking a tightrope with RMCs on the call. And Cindy chimes in, RMCs just want solutions. We are all partners in this to service the customer and the client. If we have a great relationship, it makes hiccups easier to solve.
Correct.
I agree, Cindy. And shout out to you. If that's your philosophy, shout out to you, because I love RMCs where it's a two-way street. I love RMCs where we screw up, you screw up. It's not about who did what. It's how do we fix it together? How do we learn from it? It's a safe space, right? A lot of this lack of communication, in my opinion, comes from getting our hands slapped, getting run through the ringer and ask for discounts, ask for, punitive damages on things. Well, what are you going to give them? What kind of goodwill are you going to give them? Whoa, time out. Like, I didn't cause them any monetary damages. So why am I giving them $150? Where'd that come from? It's just some arbitrary number you pulled out of because it looked good in an email to their HR department. So I love what you're saying, Cindy. I love it, and I hope that this is the aspiration of other RMCs. What are your thoughts, Barb?
Here's what I'm going to say. Fear is everywhere, and nobody wants to get fired from their customer. No one wants to disappoint their customer. And I mean, Cindy's been a leader in this industry for how long? A couple of years. So I do believe she feels that way. I also think that there's a 23-year-old out there that just got a relocation job who's been told, you do not let anything happen to this customer, and fear comes in, right? My job's on the line. dluxSuites wouldn't extend the stay. Oh, there's the word fear. That's it.
Nailed it, Jack.
I get it. I understand that fear for that person, right? Because now you have a lot of layers. You don't have just the relocation company. You've got this young, nice person who just got a job taking care of, we'll say, Stryker. And now Barb has come back and said, we can't extend your stay. Like, we can't extend your stay. That person's probably going to go to, let's call Cindy, to be like, man, dluxSuites, fear. rather than,
Yeah.
all right, we got a problem, right? Let's just figure out a way to work through it.
That's so funny because I remember being a young professional, 20s. I was very much command and control. I was very much command and control. I would waive the policies, I'd waive the handbook, I'd waive the contract to people. And the older I got, the more I realized contracts don't mean squat. It's relationships, right?
Always.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I would never ruin a relationship over a contract. Contracts are there, in my opinion. Contracts exist when there aren't relationships in place. I've had bosses so often who've picked through a contract or an SLA we've gotten, and they say, well, I don't like this clause. I don't like that clause. I don't like that clause. And I'll say, it doesn't matter. Sign it. I don't care, because I know the people on the other end of this contract. And I know the way it's, these clauses have never been exercised. And by the way, if we get to the point where we're in court over Article 53 in this contract, we already lost. So, don't even worry about it,
100%.
Love it. This is great. Oh, this is great. I'm loving these comments. I'm loving where this went. This is totally not exactly where we thought we were going to go, Barb, but this is so great. People need this. Rich is saying aces in their places.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Yeah. Henri, we're going to stay on this topic just for a second. Whom do we serve in the end? The assignee, the RMC, the corporation?
Here's what I'm going to say. It is the assignee. It is, because I'm going to tell you, if the assignee's happy, the relocation company's happy, and the corporation's happy, right? The thing that I miss a great deal with all of technology and the portals is back in the day, I will say we had a great partnership with a relocation company that had a customer that couldn't find the right housing. So we spent in the pre-work a good, 5 hours of me saying, why doesn't it work? Why don't they, what are you looking for? What are your customers looking for? What are your guests looking for? Where are they coming from? Because culture matters, right? I mean, is it a feng shui issue? Is it what? Those days are kind of gone. I mean, and that does, I think, stop people like us in hospitality, Chris and I. It kind of binds us a little bit, so we can't give the level of service that we normally give. So I say it's the assignee, because if they're happy, everybody's happy.
Interesting.
Okay,
Makes
argue
sense
with me. I love this. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Argue.
I'm going to argue with you, just not because I necessarily disagree, but I will say that our client is the person paying the bill.
Yep.
And
for sure.
Our client, my customer, is the RMC, because
they're
the ones paying the bill, and they're the ones not paying the bill, and they're the ones asking for a discount if I show up a day late or whatever. So they're ultimately my client, because when this assignee's gone, when this corporation's gone, the RMC is still my client.
Right.
And I need to trust them to keep their client, the corporation, and take care of the assignee. And sometimes even they don't take care of the assignee, they keep the corporation. So I guess my point is, I would argue maybe the RMC is who pays the bills. So hopefully this conversation doesn't even matter, because everybody's aligned. Right? Everybody should be aligned. Right. And if we're not aligned, if we even have to answer this question, there's a problem, in my opinion.
Well, and hear me out. I'm taking everything that it's not a crazy assignee, right? It's not someone who's asking for the sun, the moon, the world, and the stars, and they want turned down service in their corporate apartment every single day, right? Then things get crazy, and of course,
well, that's not standard.
No. Chris gets a little busy at night.
my turn down maid smells like Chardonnay. What's going on? Just kidding. All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, yeah, I hear you. I hear you for sure. We got some amazing comments coming in here. I love these. Henri's hit the nail on the head once again. William Wiggins, great perspective, Barb. Love the team strengths concept, spot on. Jill's just having a blast as usual. Love you, Jill. Jack says, as long as suppliers are held back by the rules or fear of losing business, then you are not 100% truly partners.
100%.
Yeah. This is great. Oh gosh, Brenda has an amazing question. Oh, so many good questions. Jack says Barbara's right. It's the assignee.
Boom,
Okay,
boom, boom.
Jack. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I love when
Jack.
Jack
Sure.
does that.
All others working on supporting the assignee should be seamless. Sometimes what you may need to do will not be in the best interest of the RMC, but is for the assignee. I like how he doesn't put himself in the equation. You're talking about the RMC, you're talking about the assignee, but Jack, what if somebody tells you no because the assignee needs something? How about all the times we argue about lump sum and you tell me, well, the business doesn't want to pay the bill. And I'm like, but the assignee needs it. And you're like, but the business can't support it. I'm like, well, who's the client?
What
The
does he need?
assignee or the
Moving
business?
exercise equipment.
Just kidding, Jack. Kind of. You know me. Alexander says RMC and supplier should be one. We have the same duty of care towards the employees we help. As RMCs, we are here in one of the most stressful periods. We are working with humans. No move will be the same. The situation will never be the same. It is on a day-to-day basis, and each person is different.
Mhm.
Mike Falia, Pat and Jack on the back. Great point. Henri, Jack Chappelle went in the line of fire. Some would do well to remember that. Hosea checking in. What up? Richard Allen, sorry you suffer from rife technical issues. Let's see here. This is fun. Henri checking in. Andrew Bruzy. Absolutely. We often talk about one team when we have the same goals. It's just the difference in the way we get to the destination. For sure. This is great. I'm going to pivot into another question here. Shout out to Marco checking in. Love your questions. Keep hitting that like button. Let everybody know we're live here. Brenda had a great question, and I'm going to bring it back here because we touched on this briefly. Jack's tripping. He's like, bring me out. Let me at him. Brenda Thoney Johnson, when is corporate housing going to get more automated, meaning instant bookings, making the process easy and quick? Good question.
Well, I just had a 2-hour meeting about this with our software developer who wants to take us down this road. And I think it's scary. Let's say that. There's fear on my end because, and our software developer comes from the hotel industry, which 20 years, Chris and I both, it's very different when you're booking a double-double because chances are there's 3 other double-doubles available, right? When you're booking an apartment, let's call it in Detroit, Michigan, that's a 2-bedroom and the view faces Campus Martius and you have, I don't know, upgrades and amenities. And that's the thing about apartments. There's so many views and what's in the apartment and upgrades. That's not like a hotel. So I said, I want to do this. Like, I'm scared, but I want to do it because what happens, again, if that dam breaks and borders open and relocations come through, I could have bid it. So Brenda's going to book that apartment in Detroit, right? I could have bid that apartment out in Detroit 3 times. She goes on, books it. I get it. We have to do something with this, all this over here. But what happens when 2 books at the same time? In a hotel, you get the other double-double. In corporate housing, it's not like that, really. So I agree with her. We need to find a way to make this easier. And maybe I'm too caught up in my own head about service and, you know, what the apartment's like and what there is to offer. Airbnb has done it. So it's not like it can't be done because when that one is gone. But here's the deal about Airbnb, and I say this with utmost respect. They're a technology company. They don't really care that Brenda's going to come back to me saying, I wanted that apartment. I booked it online. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry, somebody else came and booked it before you. Right now, we've got human behavior, which Airbnb does not have. If it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. No, you brought up a great point, honestly. And I don't really like talking about, my clients on the show because it's not really about that, but I'm going to go here just because I think it's so pertinent. So one of my clients is Alta Vita. And, this is where they go. They go with instant bookings. This is their thing, right? And they do it because they integrate with partners like Deluxe, right? Where they integrate directly with the software. I mean, that's the idea, right? Is to integrate directly with the software so that you're querying the same, business management system to manage all your properties, that they're querying that directly, right? And they're booking what's available at the prices that are in there. And this is a question that's asked all the time by people. It's like, well, how do I know that that it's not already booked? Or how do I know that if I'm booking and he's booking it, how is it like, is it being held for 30 seconds? And it's very much like an Orbitz thing, right? This ticket's available for 5 minutes longer, you know, or whatever at this price. And, you know, it kind of goes into a holding pattern. And I think that this is a really common, you know, what you're saying, Barb, is like is a very common reaction to people that have been in the business for a long time and actually understand the way things work, you know? And I think it's really valid. But I also think that there's ways around it. And I think that companies like Deluxe, which is an amazing company with amazing properties, with amazing little special things that make it so awesome, you know. And it's not just Chris and the immaculate toilets and the daily turndowns, but it's all the other thoughts that go into every element. But I think that there's ways for companies like yours to leverage a platform like that to put your properties on there and feature them, or, you know, stack them higher, maybe put them in blue or make them fancy, look better. And then also to have, so you have the instant booking, so you're not developing something from scratch, right? Because that's the other problem, right? It's like, well, you're going to develop a platform for instant booking, and, you know, I think you're in Michigan and Ohio, and what locations are you in?
Michigan, Ohio, Indiana.
Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, right? So you're gonna, you know, open that up. But like, what if somebody wants to be in California, and, you know, like, how do you automate all that and stuff? So I think that there's ways for companies to partner with existing off-the-shelf stuff in interesting ways. But I think it's legit. I think your concerns are legit, and I think it's, you know.
Were you just selling me on your product?
Trying not to. That's why I kind of like soft closed you at the end. Like, hey, you know, but whatever, you know.
Thanks, want to know what? I love that. No, your points are valid too. I think it's something we have to do as an industry, right? And of course, I would love for Deluxe to find a way to do it first. And I think we're a really good size to do it versus like an Oakwood of thousands and thousands of units. So I agree with you, and I agree with Brenda that we need to do this quickly and efficiently and quickly, probably.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Jack is actually taking reservations, and he actually has an instant booking feature as well for his Supplier Trust Retreat. So you can just instant click on Jack's name and send him your credit card information. He will book you for the Supplier Trust Retreat. Jack, is this a real thing? I need to know, because we talked about this. You told me I'd be included. This is the first I'm hearing of it after that. I need to know,
Jack.
hey, is this a real thing? Okay. Can we zoom in on Barb's credit card real quick?
I'll pay for
totally
both of us.
PCI compliant, total GDPR here. This is great. Henri says, Jack Jampo Price says, Henri, he's not joking, Henri. He's serious. Jack, I want to know, are we legit doing this, Jack? Let me know, please. Maureen's laughing. This is great. So I want to talk about Deluxe a little bit, if we can, because I'm so like inspired by you and Chris. Like, honestly, at first I didn't really know y'all like super well. Like, and then we got to really know each other probably through the Great Lakes planning for the conference and everything. And the more I got to know you guys, the more I really just kind of fell in love with both of you. You're awesome people, and you have a really cool company. But why did you start Deluxe and when? Tell us the story, if you would.
Well, the story goes back a very long time, and we don't have enough time for these stories, but the next time we're all together having
you got 22 minutes, Barb. 22
How
minutes.
Many? Oh, 22. So Chris was my customer when I worked for Starwood Hotels and Resorts. He did a lot of business with Starwood. I was pregnant with my daughter, and anyone who knows Chris, he's a fashionista, and he will judge you. He will judge you. So even though I was pregnant and I had to go with him to Vegas, like, again, he's my little brother of 18 years. So
is he judging pregnant women? Is that what Chris Christianus is doing, judging their fashion choice?
I'm big as a house. I had 9-pound, 6-ounce babies. Like, I'm like a freaking cruise ship. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you, I got to wear these flat shoes because my ankles are going to blow up. Like, I was so big. Anyway, beside the point. So anyway, he was my customer. And then he wanted to work with me. And I said, I think you need to go get sales experience So he went to MGM and he got a job in sales, a great job. He's got great stories from that job. And then at the time we were at Leading Apartments of eSuites, and he said, okay, I'm ready. Let's work together. So we did at vSuites for, oh my gosh, 9 years. I think we worked together there. And then we were like, okay, let's go. Let's do our own thing. And again, he's a creative guy that does not think like me. I don't think like him. My husband will probably buy him the biggest Christmas gift this year because I fight so much with Chris. I don't fight with my own husband. So, yeah, so we argue, we debate, but at the end of the day, it's always about what's best for the customer, or what makes Deluxe even a stronger brand, right? So we just, instead of asking permission all the time, which is something I don't think either one of us love, we do it ourselves. And we know, because of all the hospitality that we come from, what we want this company to be, which is, it's not grandma's couch. It's not 4 coffee cups that don't match. It's not, we designed this company that, like, have you ever gone to a hotel? It's 9 o'clock at night and you're just sweaty, you're gross. You had a terrible travel day, and you get to the front desk and they say, oh, Mr. Cross, I'm really sorry. We don't have, your king room available, but we've got a suite available. And all of a sudden, like, you're right. You just did it. And so you get in your room, right? You get in your room, you open the door and you're like, I'm the shit. Like, look at me. Yeah. We go for that feeling. If we could bottle that feeling. So a corporate housing person usually leaves
dluxSuites, because you're the shit.
A normal family leaves 3,200 square feet or 2,500 square feet of a house. Now we've put them in 900 square feet of an apartment, right? And it's sad. It's like going from the suite to, I'm sorry, we got to move you out of your suite. That just happened to Chris, to a double. That feels bad. So we want people, when they come into their situation, if it's, dog bones, if it's, kids, if it's, we know that they like red wine, we know that they like cheese or, I don't know, vegetables or whatever, we will find a way to get what you just did when I said, Mr. Cross, I'm sorry, we don't have a double for you. You're going into a suite. That's what we want to bottle. Mm-hmm. And then when you get in there and your bottle of wine is in there, then you're like, I'm not tired anymore. And I don't even care if I'm sweaty.
I'm not tired. I don't care. Bottle of wine me. That's it. Yep. I like it. Henri likes that motto. Might need to do just a little rebrand. dluxSuites. Shit. Let's see here. Oh, Melissa Moore checking in. What's up, Melissa?
Oh, hey.
So we've got a bunch of commentary in the comments here about booking platforms, about the Supplier Trust Summit. This is great, and we might get back to the platforms, guys. But I want to stay here just for a second, because the thing that I was most excited about talking to you about, Barb, is your entrepreneurship journey. Because I've been watching y'all, and you know what's the coolest thing about when a person becomes an entrepreneur? You see their personality in their work. Mm-hmm. When we're employees, we carry around the brand of the company that we work for. It's written here, it's on our email signatures, whatever. But then when somebody goes out on their own, you see their personality now. And watching the way y'all move and watching the way y'all brand, and watch even down to the bags that you chose for the you were the bag sponsor for the Great Lakes. I mean, those bags were like really cool, and just every little touch, I still got the travel coffee mug. It's just elegant. It's slick. It looks great. And it's you and Chris, and what has that entrepreneurship journey been like for you?
It's been really fun. No, it's difficult when it's yours, right? And I had questions for you on the same topic. When it's all you, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. We can do whatever we want. The sky's the limit. No one's going to tell us no. But maybe someone should tell us no. And this is why Chris is a great partner for me, because he will say, like, I'm so entrepreneurial. I'm like, we're going to start our own housekeeping company, and then we're going to start this, this, and this. And I have to be pulled back to say, well, why are you doing that? And in the time you spend as an entrepreneur, are you going to make, is the ROI going to be there? Basically, for every move you make in business, is the ROI there? So, I mean, our journey is that we have always been good at this. Like in the bags, that was a 3-day fight, right? Like he's like, this is what I want to do. And I said, no, let's do this. And he's like, no, that's the dumbest idea you've ever had. And then I'm like, no, it's not a dumb idea because of this. And we debate and debate and debate. But then again, the trust is there that when we come up with the thing, we like high five. Like, that's awesome. I love that. So the brand is very, everything we do, everything we say, and everything we manufacture speaks us, right? It's who we are.
Yeah.
So any type of marketing, any type of swag, it's who we are. Our apartments are who we are.
Okay, so this is interesting. So I'm going to ask you this because there's a lot of employees out there that have gone to their boss and said, hey, we got a trade show coming up. Want to get some new tchotchkes for the booth. You know, got some great ideas, boss. You know, check them out, right? We got these little cool new widgets hot for 2021. You know, what's up? And they're like, we don't got a budget for that. We don't want to spend money on that. Oh, that's too expensive. What's the ROI? Meanwhile, you guys are going out with like premium stuff. And I know we didn't say we were going to talk about this, but I'm just really curious. Yet it's coming out of your pocket, and yet you see the value in premium tchotchkes and premium giveaways and whatnot. But yet other bosses don't. What to you is the value of that touch? I'm really just curious. Why would you spend so much money on that? Because those things were really premium compared to like what people normally do.
Well, it's the experience. And are you going to spend, like, I don't have any tchotchkes on my desk because I don't like them. But I mean,
because they suck. Because nobody's spending money on them.
Right? How many squeeze balls have you gotten in your life? I mean, now it's hand sanitizer. And so it's just another thing. But what did you do the minute that we got on this call? You went back to your decanter that Chris got for you, right? And you talked about the whiskey, the experience. Then you talked about the cup we got you, which is weird. But I mean, so we want to give gifts that are meaningful. And do you remember GLRC in Cincinnati? Jill Parteka was the one working the booth, and we bought a keg of beer.
She brought a keg.
That was Chris, myself, to say, don't stand at the booth giving out freaking squeezy balls. Buy him a beer, like get him a beer. And I can't remember who was in the booth with her, but Chris helped her.
I was in the booth with her. I was standing there the whole damn time drinking beer. Like, hey, everybody, come over here. There's a keg. Yo, check it out. And she's like, oh, it's Cincinnati's blah, blah, blah beer. And I'm like, I know nobody cares. Just get a beer over here at the booth.
But look what you just did. You remembered it, right? And 100%. It's memorable. The squeezy ball is not memorable. So why would you spend $2,500 for 1,000 squeezy balls when I think that keg of beer, cost maybe $200? I mean,
yes, right. 100. I love it. I love the way you think differently about it. It's so cool. That's so awesome. We've got a really meaty top 5. I want to get to it, and I'm going to give myself 1 minute and 50 seconds just because so many people are in here with the comments and everything. And I just want to honor everybody. Cindy says, we as suppliers, RMCs have to understand this is not a single person sport like tennis. We're all in an orchestra. We have to all stay on the same place, on the same sheet of music. 100% Cindy, you're the conductor. We're all playing instruments here. But don't piss off your trombone player. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Stuff goes sideways. All right. Jack saying, bring me on live. I can't respond. I don't have enough. I'm a hunt and pecker. Yeah, I love it. Rich says on the call earlier, Big Corp was asked what would be the top wish list. He said one platform for all accommodations. Is that feasible? Quick yes or no answer, Barb.
I mean, Expedia did it, Orbitz did it, Airbnb did it.
Cool, good answer. Richard says it's just as feasible as using one political system for the whole world, in my opinion. All right, Henri's taking over the globe. Jack's taking reservations. This is great. Cliff says there'd be limitations, but should be some availability to do that. Otherwise, Airbnb will beat us all to it. Yeah, innovate or die. 100%. It's true. Mm-hmm. Marco, Richard, I think this would be feasible if you did not have to build a platform from scratch, but rather built a foundation that will allow you to snap on existing tech from savvy providers that would encompass all the needs. So building a platform that everybody can integrate to. I think that's honestly at the end. I think they're, yes. Jack wants it to be real. Can we make this real? Can we make Jack's dreams of a supplier trust summit real?
I'll plan it. Or Chris is the best planner. He'll plan it.
He's good. I know he's good. He is so good. Yeah. What do you think there's any merit to the idea of a supplier trust summit? Is there an ROI on that? Jack, and here I'm going to tee it up for Jack. Jack, I'm going to do a poor job of this, so bear with me. I'm sorry. But Jack's thing is like, hey, y'all got to stop fighting. Y'all got to start getting along. I need y'all to collaborate and not throw shade at each other over here. So if we got to go away, listen to some speakers. He's big on thought leadership. I'm more like drum circles and mojitos, but whatever. Either way, we'll do both. But if we got to go away and figure this all out and how to work together and maybe do some trust falls or whatever, cool. And what are your thoughts on that, Barb?
Well, I would go anywhere, but I think that when everyone knows the goal at hand, right? And hear me out. I don't know today. I'm not intimate with Stryker. I don't know their mission statement, their philosophy, what they want for their relocation, expats or whatever coming in and out. I don't know what they want for their internship. So someone like me, right? So let's just say Cindy's going to come to Barb and say, hey, we need to do an internship for Stryker. I'm going to set it up the same way I know how to set it up. And that might not be right. So to go at a summit and to say, again, the movers, the corporate housing providers, like you guys are our family and you need to work together. And this is what we expect. Again, it's Juwan Howard again. Like this is the game plan. This is the floor. This is what we have to do. And Ben, again, you're going to bring the ball down the court. Barbara, you're going to get to the 3-point line and shoot it. It's so much easier to service someone when you really know the passion behind what they do and who they are.
Dig it. Cool.
Yes.
Let's see here real quick here. Marco saying, Richard saying, Marco, have you had any experience using any of the GDSs? So the airline platforms, basically. Andrew saying technology is key, making things faster, lower cost, easier, improves everyone's experience. I'm just going to really quickly plug too, because we are doing a corporate housing innovation summit. Altavita is doing one, starts March 25th. I encourage everybody to register for that because they're actually going to be solving problems like this. So if people want to show up and say, hey, I got a problem, and they're actually doing all 5 continents. So it's going to be 5 problems, 5 pieces of software product that are developed and actually rolled out that people can actually use to solve problems. So just saying. Cliff saying instant booking is good for current available inventory. Obviously, we book new units for certain requests when we need to take a new lease, but there's a place for instant booking in certain pieces of business. This is a big objection. I'm going to bring this up, Barb. How do you, a lot of times how do you book something that's not there yet? Jack calls you, says any place I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ghost units. Here's the deal. A good corporate housing provider should have the relationship with their property management companies, owners, to know at any given time. I know right now at any given time what I would put on a platform for our ghost units. I know they're available. I know we can set them up quickly. Like I know what inventory we have coming available, but you have to be that intimate with what you can do in order for it to work, right? Is there risk? I would take the risk. Because we will make it happen. Yeah.
No, I like it. Now, if you're ghost unit, let's just use apartment building A. There's apartment building, right? And you're going to ghost unit in it, and other companies are going to ghost unit, and everybody's ghost uniting in it, right? And what if like 3 of them book and there's only 2 units available? Like, what do you do then?
I mean, you better be careful when you have a ghost unit that you can get the unit and you can supply the customer with what they're looking for, right? I mean, you can't just throw up a ghost unit in hopes it's a 90-day stay.
Yeah.
What do you say, jinx? What does that mean, jinx?
He probably said ghost units at the same time you did. Now he owes you a Coca-Cola.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Round trips to Aruba are $300 with companion pass right now. Seems like a good of a summit location as any. Matson. That's great. That's great. Yeah, people are talking about ghost units. Okay, so everybody's solved this problem already. Awesome. Okay, let's do this. We got a top 5. It's super meaty. We're gonna run over. We're gonna run into happy hour. Lisa Fontana's gonna be like, "Where were you guys?" All right. So anyway, let's run into this. You got a top 5 for me, Barb?
Yep, we got the top 5 upcoming trends to be aware of in corporate housing.
Ooh, okay. Hit me.
Okay.
5.
5, pent-up demand. So we already kind of talked about it, right? The pent-up demand, and we have done a lot of research with corporate, and to plug Jack Jample and Maureen and Lisa Fontana, on March 17th, we're at the GCRC, the Greater Cincinnati Relocation Council, and we've been studying the pent-up demand, right? Does BGRS have 2,000 authorizations sitting on their desk? I made all that up. Paid for, ready to go.
Breaking news, BGRS has 2,000 authorizations sitting on their desk right now.
I made it up. Does Ayers have, does Grable, we're all sitting on these authorizations. So again, my favorite question is, when is the trickle going to become a stream? When is the stream going to become a tsunami, right? When is it going to hit? And everyone has a different answer. First week of April was the answer I got at 2:00 today. First week of April, we're going to be slammed. I don't personally think that. So there's so much pent-up demand that the money is already there in these files. What's going to happen again when the dam starts to really break and these authorizations are coming in faster? What does it mean for the corporation? What does it mean for the relocation company? And because this is corporate housing, what does it mean for us?
Yeah, corporate housing and moving seem to be the two things that people are most worried about, because there is a finite supply. And when all the units get snapped up and all the trucks get, taken, could be tough. I'm hearing a lot of July 1 back to work. So I'm thinking a lot of this pent up demand is going to hit in July, which is already probably the busiest month of the year. So What happens then?
Well, the biggest question of the pent-up demand is, can corporate housing companies, we furloughed a lot of people. We let a lot of people go. So people like, let's say me, it's certainly not Chris, that the leads are coming through. I'm like, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Can you? Because again, it's such a high service touch point. Can you? And then what's going to happen to the 30-day stay? That's my biggest thing, is what's going to happen to the 30-day stay, because there's no supply out. There's not a lot of supply out there. So the demand's going to come in. We can't get inventory from the apartment communities unless you're in downtown Detroit, downtown Chicago, New York City. There are places we can get it, but the suburbs, forget it. So it scares me. It's my fear.
Yeah. Wow, we got ghosts and pent-up demand, things we're afraid of. That should have been our top 5. Ghost news. All right, number 4.
Number 4, that same thing, corporate housing companies' capabilities and bandwidth, right? So here's something that happened, and I mean this out of so much respect, that last February, let's call it, we were at a Corporate Housing Providers Association conference in Austin, Texas. And our friends in Chicago, right, taking out inventory because there's still not enough inventory. And they took out inventory for the internships, and they took out inventory for the summer demand. And COVID hit, and they didn't need the inventory, right? So you've got a few issues coming on here. Many corporate housing companies went back to the properties to say, I'm so sorry, we can't use this inventory, which does impact trust. It does for our industry. You have corporate housing companies that couldn't give back the inventory, and they paid for vacant units. They paid and they paid and they paid and they paid. So the impact on this industry was huge. And a lot of the corporate housing companies didn't survive, and those that did. So we went through a winter, a winter, a winter, and a winter. And normally you have that summer where we all do really well, right? So now you have companies that are like, I have to get any type of business to sustain my company. And so I'm going to take the risk and do it. So the same example, 10 units in the same building. Does your corporate housing company have enough money? I would hope we would all be honest, to put down a security deposit, first month's rent. It's just things to think about. to Jack's point, to have that relationship with your corporate housing company to say, if I give you, 20 units, are you going to be able to do that? I mean, do corporate customers know we have to do security deposit and first month's rent sometimes? I don't know.
Yeah, so it sounds like you have to be kind of well capitalized or have a nice revolving, line of credit or something. But I suspect that that's not part of the vetting process. Do you think that that's something that RMCs and corporate clients should be vetting for? Is the capitalization or the line of credit for their companies? I mean, what's the solve there?
I think this is why, I'm just speaking on panels because I'm very passionate about education, right? I'm very passionate about building that trust in this industry. So there is forgiveness because I hope, I do, I hope it's chaotic. I hope it's crazy. I hope so many companies that suffered can get back on their feet and get moving and grooving. I do, but there has to be a cost somewhere, I think. And my fear is that we all really need to be honest that it could be difficult, more difficult this summer than it's ever been because of 2020. So I think, like Jack said, I think Jack calls Barbara Hale and said, okay, I'm going to put 20 in Kalamazoo. Can you do it? And I would say, Jack, we can do it. We can do it. No issues. Like, we can do it.
Yeah. Interesting. What about thought real quick? Cancellation insurance. I've heard this talked about before. Cancellation insurance, where people are getting stuck with these units. Either they can't give them back, or is there an opportunity out there to kind of protect yourself and allow you to be more aggressive if you have a cancellation insurance policy that knows it'll pay for the unit if you can't rent it?
Well, I don't know. Matt Singley, I think you should answer that question. I have never heard of cancellation insurance, but I'm going to go get it if it's there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I think Jacob Street is doing it. So, all right. Number 4, Stacy, or number 3?
Higher rates. This goes down to, again, in my mind, I see a relocation company, a corporate customer sitting at their desk, right? Oh, it's coming back. This is great. And they're going to expect lower rates. What drives our rate? The property prices, right? The property prices. And so what happened in 2020 is so many corporate housing companies gave units back to the properties. Is our short-term fees going up? Our administration fees going up, right? So again, something I fear is when we start putting rates through, that they're like, whoa, what the heck happened? Like, why is this rate here? And I do think, this is my very own opinion, that rate integrity in this industry for the next 4 months is going to be crazy. And that's a hotel term, right? The rate integrity.
Yeah, what does rate integrity mean?
Well, rate integrity means that if you go to any hotel in a given area, the rates are going to be virtually the same, maybe $10 here or there, right? Or rate integrity means, Ben, when you send me an RFP and I come back with $150, if you push me, I should never be able to come down to 120. Because why wouldn't I have given you 120 to begin with? A $30 gap is not rate integrity, right? A $30 gap means something is really funky going on. So at Deluxe, again, it's a hotel term. We're all about that rate integrity, that we offer the best rates. And we probably aren't going to be able to come down $20. Like, we're not. But I think that there will be companies that will do it just to survive, right? I think it's very innocent. I think it's very
or the other way, though. I mean, you're saying, because on the other hand, you're saying that there's not going to be supply out there, and supply usually drives rates higher.
Right.
So,
but again, I'm thinking of a small little provider. We call them mom and pops. Let's call it in Kentucky somewhere, that, shoots out 150. And then you call them and say, yeah, I can't do 150. And they drop the rate to 130. I think it's bad for our industry, right? I don't think you should be able to go from 150 to 130, because why didn't you give 130 to begin with? So yes, I do think the prices are going to be higher, but out of survival, I do think there will be companies that drop their rates.
Okay, interesting.
Cash flow.
Number 2.
Challenges with the 30-day leases. So we did talk about this, and that is a supply issue, I believe, especially in the Midwest, in the suburbs.
What's the problem with 30-day leases?
Well, okay, so right now we're 100% occupied, right? And yes, we need to start taking out units to keep our business going. If we, again, when the dam breaks and there's all these 30-day leases, do I want to get stuck with inventory in the wintertime? And that's what everyone just said during our, all the corporate housing providers at the CHPA Small Business Forum is I can't, I mean, we're gun shy. I can't be stuck with inventory in the wintertime because when we have open inventory, if you think about it, we're paying for the rent, we're paying for the furniture, and we own our own furniture. You're paying for housewares, you're paying for utilities. So when we have vacant units, it's tough.
Yeah, and are you forced to take out 12-month leases, or what kind of leases typically are being taken out?
I'll try for the 90-day, but here's the problem with the 90-day. The properties are filled. They don't have to do a 90-day. They're not looking to push occupancy. Their occupancies are 97, 98%. So they don't
Especially in Michigan. Michigan, the rental, I feel like there's like no rentals because, I mean, there's just, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know, in a lot of these markets where, you know, homes haven't been going up left and right and building hasn't been happening over the last 20 years because after post-recession, people were gun shy to invest in major construction projects, whether it be housing developments or multifamily properties. You know, there's just not enough housing to keep up with the demand. And you're right; those properties are going to be selective about what they do, and it's going to be tough on corporate housing providers for sure. Number one,
the lack of inventory. I mean,
I'm like Reed. I feel like I just stole your thunder on that.
No, you're good. That's number. I mean, it's a challenge, and it's a challenge because. And again, you know Michigan better than any. We don't have a lot of A properties here, right? There's not a lot of, compared to a Chicago with a concierge service and an elevator, and there's not a lot here. And I mean, Kalamazoo, there's not a lot there either, right? So if those properties are filled, you just go down to a B property. Well, they didn't want a B property. They came from a 4,000 square foot home. And then we have to say now, it's all we can do. It's all we can do. And I just want everyone to be ready for that.
Well, when you say ready though, like what? Just like lower our expectations, book in advance. Like what tips?
No, I think we all need to be educated, which is my passion. Like, and I think I think Jack's right next to me saying we've got to educate because again, I don't want to hear dluxSuites won't work with us. We can't get into the building and they have a 30-day request, but I have to take a 1-year lease out on it. I mean, that's tough. Would I do it? Chris would not. I probably would. If Jack called me and said, hey, can you get me in this building? Da, 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 da. I am the type of person that would, and Chris would be like, you are out of your freaking mind. I'm bullish on planning. Yeah.
16-month summer, huh, Matt? Pent up demand. Is that your pent up demand? Are you happy to see me? All right. Push up the summer season later into the year we're used to, maybe through 2022. I mean, maybe.
But if he's right? Ben, think about that for 1 second. If he's right, I'll take 30-day leases all day long.
If he's right, there's no problems because there's no dips, right? I mean, it's the cyclical, the summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. And you're saying it's kind of been winter, winter, winter. And in fact, winter, 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 I mean, yeah, cash flow sucks, but it's easier to manage to winter, winter, winter because there's stability in winter, winter, winter. There's stability in summer, summer, summer. But it's summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. I think it's really hard for people to staff to, right? And so, you know, I think he likes the jokes. Well, that's good. I like the stuff. But I think, yeah, I mean, that's, hey, so you get paid the big bucks, Barb. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I don't think I will by myself, you know.
This has been so much fun. Everybody has been so fun with the comments. Maureen thinks Matt's right. This is great. People have been super engaged. This is wonderful. I love all these people. Isn't it great getting to talk to everybody?
Yeah, you're great. Thank you for having me. We.
Thanks for being here, Barb. It's good to see you. You want to leave anybody? You want to say final word, final thought?
I think we have to communicate.
Can somebody mute Barb? Mute Barb. I'm muting the guest. I'm muting her. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm serious. I think, again, to Jack's point, to Matt's point, to all of our points, I think we have to work together and come together as an industry, not a corporate housing industry, but an overall arching relocation industry, to understand what challenges could lie ahead, because we will be more forgiving if we understand. And I'm so afraid that I don't know that everyone understands the scope of what's really going to happen. So that's my parting words.
You're right. I love it. As usual, Barb, it's been wonderful seeing you.
Yeah, awesome. I'll see you later. Time for some Chardonnay.
I'll see you in like half an hour. We got a happy hour to go to and all that. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining and listening in to Barb and I discuss corporate housing and deluxe suites and entrepreneurship and all sorts of craziness. Thank you so much for getting involved. The show is always better when you are involved, so keep getting involved. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Send a little love out to Michigan, to Barb and Deluxe Suites. And we will see you tomorrow, Friday. Actually, got a friend of mine, Christine Caldwell, coming on. We're going to talk about Clubhouse and how you can leverage social media for your personal and professional development. So that's cool. And if you want to get a leg up on that conversation, go to Clubhouse, download it if you're an iPhone user, download Clubhouse, the app, and go to join the Global Mobility Group in Clubhouse. Check that out.